Game number 1 in what could be a pretty awesome series. Finally, we have nothing left. I actually think this is the first time in all of the Division S qualifiers that I cast nothing left, because these bad boys have not participated in 2 qualifiers. Now we're finally in our 4th and final qualifier, and nothing left has realized that if they don't qualify today, they're not part of Division S. They have to go in the second round. We are currently in the second round here. They have to go up against Out of the Box, and Out of the Box has a couple of really notable players in their lineup, and they also have a very specific playstyle that centers around them playing pretty much without a tank. So in the past they have been able to get away with this, also because they were just stronger than the opponents they went up against. And right now I'm not 100% certain how this is going to work out here, because this is definitely a much tougher opponent for Out of the Box than anyone that they faced before. So right now the question is, will that side be successful in any way in this lineup? Imperius banned out, and so is Anubarak. Nothing Left had also the small advantage that they didn't have. This is the first opponent they play in this setup. They still ban tanks, by the way. So they definitely watched the previous games of Out of the Box, but they're still saying, we're not really falling for any of these shenanigans right now. We are still banning meta. If they want to stick with what they played before, we are going to be fine against this. That seems to be the current strategy and the idea that they have here. And I mean, so far it has been working out for them in the qualifiers that they played, but we'll see if it's going to be enough against Out of the Box. And already with hero number 1 they pick Maiev, and what does that mean for us? It is an engage hero. It is a hero where you try to really force a fight at a certain position, but Out of the Box, now that they have access to Hammer again, go straight for the Sergeant. So now we have Leoric played by Menaldor, so pretty much the same that we've seen from Out of the Box in previous games. They go into Sergeant Hammer that they really like to play. They have an immediate Leoric pick, whereas we're seeing Nothing Left with Malfurion, Johanna and Maiev in the early rotation. So Out of the Box is just saying, yeah, we're going to do the same thing. If you don't ban our stuff, then we are fine with that. We're just going to do what we've been doing the entire time. We're totally happy to play that style, and let's see what you got. Let's see if you really have an answer to this, because we don't believe you do. And that's really the moment where Nothing Left has to show that they are able to beat this. There's the ban on Liming. No burst damage resets that we're getting from Nothing Left. Especially, of course, with Maiev and with Malfurion here. You could still play Tracer, by the way, later on for Nothing Left. We've seen that in the past. When it comes to bans now, do you ban that Kharazim maybe? Do you ban something else that could be played here on the side of Out of the Box? That's the question. I mean, they have a couple of heroes that they heavily spec'd into, but it's Tyrande instead. I assume that Nothing Left have watched some of these games. It would be kind of crazy if they didn't watch at least the previous series. If they hold true to their style, we're going to see a Kharazim now, plus X. And that X could be a Junkrat, but we don't have Kharazim. We actually have Vodka-chan, this time on Rhaegar. Also aggressive, also a little bit jumpy. And there's the Tracer. As we said before, Tracer, the weapon of choice right now for DAB. DAB, the player who ran circles around people in HTC with Tracer. This time his hero isn't banned out. He even gets a bit of extra support through Tacita. So Tacita, Malfurion, and Tracer. This is going to be interesting, because Nothing Left have now a setup that is insanely aggressive. And here comes Medivh. Okay, so once again, no main tank for Out of the Box. We're heading into game number 1, Tomb of the Spider Queen, and this is going to be a good one. Nothing Left. They need to do really well in this tournament if they want to qualify for Division S. They've missed 2 of the qualification tournaments. Can they pull it off today? That's the question. They have to deliver, first of all, against Out of the Box here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Game number 1 between Out of the Box and Nothing Left. And, well, on the left side of the map, Out of the Box once again in blue, with Blade on Junkrat. We have Vodka-chan on Rhaegar, Menaldor on Leoric, but on Medivh and TRQR on Hammer. And if that composition looks familiar, there's a reason for it. In qualifier number 3 and also here in qualifier number 4, they have really centered very heavily on a certain playstyle and certain key heroes, and they have them again. But this time, They go up against a much stronger opponent with nothing left on the right side. Podyboss on Tassadar, linked on Malfurions, Dune on Johanna. We have DAB on Tracer and Blake Kidney on Maiev. Great heroes here for nothing left, the former leftovers team. DAB, of course, has with Tracer one of his favorite heroes and a very, very strong hero for him in particular that can also now rely onto the double support with Tassadar and Malfurion. And Tassadar especially has the extra advantage on this map that he grants a lot of vision. He has a lot of wave clear. He's in a position where later on he can, with a Psionic Echo, get also a lot of AoE out there and really just soften up opponents and targets before you engage into a real team fight. And on top of that too, you have Malfurion, who just combos extremely well with Tracer through that heal. TRQR, of course, has a bit of a counter to that with Sergeant Hammer, who through her auto attacks is fantastic against Tracer. But this is going to be a tricky game. Level 1 with Naisha's Memento taken here too. And you can actually already tell that this is a little bit of a more passive setup that we are seeing from out of the box now. Not quite as aggressive as they usually are. They have to be a little bit more careful here. And especially Junkrat in the mid lane, very far out, always waits for the opponent to clear the way first before he starts to rotate in. But TRQR on his Sergeant Hammer is starting to become a bit more aggressive. And as long as Medivh is still in the area and can help him out with a portal if there is any trouble, that's all that they have to really do to keep Hammer safe, at least for the time being. Khaldor is still cleaning up the top lane here with his janitor Leoric. He's cleaning house, gets the drain in, that's all he needs for now. Bot lane aggression with the camp actually. They stole the siege giants here. Well done, and that is heavy pressure. Out of the box at this point, doing some work down here. First tower already down. We're still seeing Maiev in the mid lane up against Junkrat, but Blade on Junkrat plays it very, very safe. So does the rest of his team, making sure that there's nothing happening around the portal. Easy move away. One tower dropped. Gate already low. And of course, in the meantime, we're seeing the rotations happening from nothing left. And again, I said it before, this is really a lineup or a strategy that Out of the Box has now pulled out multiple times. And if you've watched any of these games, then you should be aware of what they're going to try and do here. And the one question that we had in most of those games was, what happens if they go up against an opponent that is either on their level or even a little bit higher? Can they still get value out of a strategy where they don't play with a real main tank, where they only have Leoric as the melee offlaner here and rely onto that Medivh, Kharazim, or Rhaegar combo and the wave clear to Junkrat and the auto attacks from Hammer? And that's something that they have to prove right now. We have seen great games from them already, but is it going to be enough here? Great, again, the shield that we had from Medivh against the Tracer bomb. Medivh in particular is just a fantastic hero against this Tracer setup because he can negate so much damage that Tracer wants to push onto a hero. Level 4 ability now with the Strangling Vines also. Great if that extra heal comes through. If you hit that properly with an Ancestral Healing, that is just fantastic. That's basically 0 value for Rhaegar's ult if it ever happens. That said, the wave clear continues with Neil Peasants now on level 4 for Leoric. We have also the Dust of Appearance taken here. Control over the turning points is crucial, and Dust of Appearance helps you pretty much in the same way that the trait of Tassadar helps you to just control these points. Talking about control, trying to get the control here against Blade. Blade goes down, the kill is there, and Butter is getting blocked but able to move out with that quick portal. But a great kill against Junkrat, especially after the initial bomb didn't even connect and they weren't able to get the insta-kill there. Still DAB with a follow-up. And DAB is just a god on that hero. I mean, he played that in HGC a few times and then at some point basically every single HGC team just decided that Tracer is a standard ban against leftovers. That's pretty much what happened. They were just sitting there and were saying like, alright, forget it, like, there's no way this kid is getting Tracer. And DAB is just like running around again, trying to look for more opponents, add that damage in, and of course Blake Kidney in the meantime against Khaldor here trying to force the fights. But here come the first Red Waves. Red Web Weavers on the way. 1 kill only so far in this game. That kill 4-0 left, but now with the Web Weavers, how much damage can they actually pull off here? 7 versus 7 when it comes to talents and experience. Web Weavers on the way. Also, Regenerative Biosteel taken, so no plating. And instead Hover Siege mode plus Ambush. So speccing fully into the Siege mode here. and trying to get some self-sustain to that. Bot lane is already getting defended, but in the middle, a very different picture. 3-man commitment plus Web Weaver, and that could be a very, very early fort in this game. And that is a problem. With the first Web Weaver wave, normally you want to make sure that your opponent doesn't quite get a fort. Losing a few towers in the gate, maybe even your fountain, is already annoying enough as it is, but with Web Weaver wave number 1, grabbing an entire fort, and even more than that, as the top gate and wall falls, that's an issue. So that is a great setup here. Again, 4-0 left. They are super aggressive with this. They're doing well. Nice negate here by Butter. So once again, the bomb doesn't find value from Tracer, but DAB is definitely keeping Medivh on his toes. I mean, DAB is just everywhere the entire time. And the second that the Force of Will is not going to be ready, you know there's going to be a kill. And I mean, look at the damage output alone. 14,000 already, gets another one in, and DAB is just always there. Butter is in a position where he's just sitting on Medivh, and he's saying, like, yeah, if I drop that cooldown at one point for anything else but the Tracer bomb, then there is going to be a dead hero on the board. And you know DAB is waiting for exactly that. Good hits, though, on the Arcane Rift. Making sure that he continues with the completion of his baseline quest. Level 10 abilities are now in play too. And that gives us the Blessed Shield again. 16,000 damage now also for Tracer. And that is with everything negated as it stands. Tracer again at the top lane. That bomb is connecting, but Menaldor still survives. But DAP has pretty much free reign on the map, as you can see here. The problem that we have with the composition that is being played by Out of the Box, and we talked about this in the past, they pretty much don't have any lockdown. They have a polybomb now that helps them a little bit, but it's not quite the same as a full-fledged stun. And on top of that, they have on level 20 Buried Alive, but for the time being, it's only Entomb that they can rely upon in these fights. So the composition is really hinging on a lot of rotational plays against an opponent, and the ability to just simply move much quicker on the map, rotate onto a lane, drop a structure. But you don't have a lot of lockdown against heroes like Tracer. And that is starting to become a bit of an issue. TAB is having a field day here. He's like, you can't do anything, na 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 na. And yeah, he's just having a great day right now. There comes the Force against Rhaegar. They're trying to set that up. Hammer is in trouble. Hammer gets the tether. There's the Ancestral. Good move by Rhaegar. But the fight continues. And all of a sudden it's Bleak Kidney who's in trouble, and Bleak Kidney goes down. DAB is also in a position where he definitely needs at least the shield. Going straight in. Fortia QR again. And that's the kill right there. And that's a lot of gems lost, especially if nobody can move in to recover them. And we're seeing DAB still being around, trying to see what he can pull off there. Doesn't get grabbed by that grenade either. One hits, eats a bit of damage, but they are doing work. I mean, they already moved through this as the entire fight just moved even more. And now with all those gems that have just now been dropped, that's another big problem. Some were recovered, yes, but that's still a loss. And if you look at the gem count, there's another Red Web Weaver wave that's already headed towards the blue team, just simply because they couldn't control the point any longer. And nothing left is controlling the map. They're controlling the entire map at this point. And this is just pretty much it. So, at this point, up to the top lane here, we have Bleak Kidney in a position where he's just waiting to see if he can force another engage, maybe also protect the Web Weaver a bit longer. Down to the bottom of the map, another fort is being attacked at this point, as nothing left is starting to move this in too. And DAB is just having a field day. Like, I imagine DAB the entire game just sitting there with a big smile, a bit smirk on his face, and just enjoying the show, because it's just saying, like, yeah, I'm going to win this single-handedly. I'm going to pull an Alex the Pro G here, and I'm going to 1v9 the shit out of this game. 13 on the board now, an extra talent already. Web Weavers destroying the bottom fort, easy peasy. DAB is still looking for an opportunity to get even more kills. We currently have only 3 in the game, 2 against 1. But yeah, DAB is just simply rushing around on Tracer. Nobody can do anything against him. Takes those mines down as well. Top fort still stands, but they could try and rotate in. That Riptide is not going to do anything anytime soon. A bit of damage, but as you can imagine, not really working too well. And that could be the kill. Ancestral! Nice job. Good job by Vodka Chan with the Ancestral healing here. But the fight isn't over yet. Fight is not over yet. The Entomb forces it once again, but there comes the Tranquility from Malfurion, and they're still starting to push in the mid lane. And with level 13 talent advantage that Archon is also starting to do work, we have them with a pretty big play for not only the key, but maybe even another kill. I mean, right now, Tracer is pretty much already looking to see if she can get another bit of damage out here against anybody. Blade is low, and they're starting to rotate topside, whereas two heroes still keep the rest in the middle to start working on fort number 3. And once the third fort is down, what exactly are you going to do in the middle of the map? You're going to have a very, very tough time getting a turn in. Your opponent is still in full control of this game, has all of the fountains left, can always just pop back in and out whenever there's a fight around the turning point. You have Tassadar for the vision. Losing the map control this heavily on Tomb of the Spider Queen is just not a good thing. But Rhaegar actually sneaked in down to the bottom of the map and completed the turn in, trying to give his team a bit of breathing room, just to stop the bleeding for a second or two. The problem is that this wave is very likely not going to do a whole lot, because down here we have catapults in, but the Web Weaver is starting very, very far back, and that's on every single lane. I mean, you look at the lanes and the Web Weavers are pretty much starting at the keeps. And here come the rotations again, trying to take this one out already early. Bruiser camp is in the middle, and you have to remember that with the forts down on the side of out of the box, there's also catapults on lanes. So the catapults alone will help a lot to just make sure that those Web Weavers in blue are not really doing too much yet. Again, the move in. No containment disc yet to force the fight. Riptire comes in, gets a bit of damage. There's a containment disc. Hammer is already down, taken apart by Tracer, and here comes a potential second kill. Bada gets pulled away from the portal. Barely is able to make it through anyways, though. No kill against them just yet. And already the rotation towards the middle and the top lane now, from nothing left to make sure that they have a chance to actually get those Web Weavers taken out as quickly as they possibly can. Top lane is currently there, breaking through the wall, getting damage onto the fort itself, but the Kidney should be able to play this anyways. DAB gets the shield. Oh, Rhaegar with lunge, nearly getting the kill there, but DAB is still alive. And he's not dying anytime soon, is he? Instead, he goes around, self-ancestral on Rhaegar. There it is. Tassadar moves away. DAB with a re-engage, trying to see if he can get the kill. Hammer, blessed shield comes in, and they're trying to make the play here. Parting gift once again, and DAB just darts in, darts out, jumps in, jumps out. And it's a 4 versus 5, by the way. Maiev the entire time was at the top lane, pushing the wave out. 16 is in their hands, but that was a 4 versus 5 the entire time. And if you would have asked me who is closer to getting another kill, I would have said nothing left for sure. So with this, we're now seeing at the bottom of the map another potential turn in here for the red team, as they're starting to get rid of all of those gems that they have. Another Siege Giant camp is taken too. We're still having Rhaegar actually sitting at the Bruiser camp, could try and take that with a bit of help from Menildor. Currently not the case. Turn-in would be easy if they wanted, and they do. They get Johanna in position for it. Web Weavers are going to spawn very far out now. And DAB is again at it. Moving straight in here. I mean, the damage output again, we can take another close look at it. 58,000 at this point for Tracer. Tracer's just absolutely dominating this. They're moving towards the bottom of the map. Keep in mind, they just took the Siege Giants. Catapults, Siege Giants, Web Weavers, you name it, it's pushing. So that is going to be tough to stop at any point. I mean, towers are already down as the Web Weavers are just coming in. Nice cleanse there. Great job, actually, but still, containment disc on Medivh. They're going in once more, and Junkrat is already dead. Tracer just zipping around in and out. Ancestral hits Medivh, but every lane is pushing. Here comes a heavy engage. Linked, trying to go for the ult here. Medivh is down, and now we're having Linked on the run. Vodka-chan wants at least the kill against him, but the shield comes out. Hammer dies as we speak, and Vodka-chan is not going to make it either. Gets dropped here by Malfurion himself, and now with the 3-level lead, 7 kills against 1, we are seeing the core slowly falling. Fantastic performance here by Nothing left in this first game of the Best of 3 series. They take the lead onto the Spider Queen against Out of the Box as on the Division S qualifier. Game number 2. We just saw nothing left. Pretty much dance around literally out of the box. So the big question is, does out of the box have to go a little bit more into the box again? Because that style didn't really seem to work against nothing left. Especially since DAB just got everything that he ever wanted. And that's Tracer with a double support. It seems pretty much impossible to lock him down without having any of these stuns. I mean, the best that they had was pretty much Rhaegar with a totem, but outside of that, very little they could actually do to control DAB, so that was a massive problem there. So Infernal Shrines is the second map, and if nothing left takes it here, they'll advance to the next round of the tournament, which would actually be round 3. And already the quarterfinal. I mean, obviously, we are in the last qualifier, and a lot of teams have already qualified for Division S. So those teams, the teams that have already qualified, either by winning one of the previous qualification tournaments or by getting so many points through the tournaments that nobody else can catch up to them anymore, are not allowed to participate in additional qualifiers anymore, to not skew the results too much and to make sure that other teams have a chance at advancing there. I mean, obviously, should be obvious. So all those teams are not participating in this last and final qualifier here, which means that there's fewer teams also participating as a whole. And we'll see how this is going to all work out here. I mean, so far nothing left is looking pretty good here. Out of the box, definitely a great team, but formed maybe a bit too late and is having trouble here. The adjustment that we're seeing for now in Infernal Shrines is actually that nothing left at least respects the entire Abathur strategy of out of the box enough that they say, hey, we ban out Abathur. There's still, of course, a Samuro factor to at least consider, but Abathur has been banned out, and on top of that, we're seeing out of the box also from the start saying, well, Maiev might be a little bit too much. Nothing left, can force too much with Maiev and has too much control there, so let's ban her out for the time being. So we're having Alexstrasza as a first pick here for Linked. So in this case, with Alex, you can still control with the Dragon Queen the objective nicely. Of course, added value also simply through the healing mechanic on those points. A very centered focus point for 5 versus 5 fights, if your opponent gives you these 5 versus 5 fights. Mentioning that because out of the box has been, there it is again, playing that style where they're trying to just rotate around an opponent, never really giving them big team fights, but instead trying to focus on structures. So in this case now we have Kharazim and Leoric already taken. I mean, when you think about the third ban on nothing left, you could ban out so much right now already. You could ban Medivh, you could ban Greymane. There's still Sergeant Hammer and Samuro to consider as well, so they're just sticking with that style. But nothing left picks something away. They pick at least Junkrat away. So that's one of the heroes that you can again use to control the objective itself. And also with Tyrael and the Sanctification that allows. Also, we have seen, of course, a few more judgments in the recent past for insta-blow-ups, but that was mostly centered around a composition that included Tyrande for the trade, for the Hunter's mod, and the extra stun. It provides, of course, a shield too, and therefore in this case we have Tracer still banned out, but I still want to see how exactly this setup is now working, because nothing left is running something that is definitely superior when it comes to Shrine fights. Period. Unless we're seeing a return of out of the box back into the box and them drafting a main tank next to Leoric and going for more of a standard lineup, then the fights on the shrines are heavily skewed in favor of nothing left just because of the composition they play. And then the only question that has to be answered is out of the box able to just rotate around the opponent like they did against previous teams that they faced, or is nothing left just shutting that down from the get-go? But there's the false step play again, so you get Gust Isolation, Entomb, Gust Isolation, and a 7-sided strike that helps you with team fights and insta-kills, but at the same time that global is of course designed to really just move through the map and get the pressure there. Samuro gets picked again as well, and you can already tell where this is headed. If you can collapse onto a single hero, then yes, that Gust Isolation with the 7-sided strike really helps you, but with Samuro in the mix, with Falstad having escape tools and also the global ability, with Kharazim darting away through the dash and Leoric having the Wraith Walk, you have heroes that can aggressively push onto lanes, try and go for structures, and when they get ganked upon, still have a very good chance at survival. So there's a lot of that happening right now. Cassia and Podibos well, Malthael playing Poryboss here. So you have a fair share of control through Junkrat and his mines, but you also have blinds from Cassia. That helps whenever there's any kind of approach towards the core like we've seen in previous games. So here comes Greymane. Again, it is a very annoying style that out of the box plays here, and definitely something that we've been asking for a long time now. How does a great team deal with that? And we're gonna get an answer now. On Tomb of the Spider Queen, a similar strategy hasn't worked out for out of the box. Now they have to prove that on Infernal Shrines it's a different story, or they are out of the tournament. So let's head straight in without further ado. Game number 2 in our series between Out of the Box and Nothing Left. And to the left side, Blade on Greymane for Out of the Box. They did not go back into the box. They still continue with the same style that they showed us now in 2 tournaments. Vodka-chan on Karazim, Tyrkio on Samuro, Maenaldor on Leoric, and Butter on Falstad. So switching heroes around slightly, as we see to the right side of the map, Nothing Left with Poryboss on Malthael. We have DAB on Cassia, Zadoon on Tyrael, Linked on Alexstrasza, and Blake Kidney on the Rat. Playing Junkrat here in game number 2, and it could be the last game for Out of the Box if they don't turn it around here. They kind of have to try. Level 1 talents, the one to point out here, Charge Strikes. Back in the days, this was the go-to talent for every single Cassia player. Has been falling off then after a while, especially after Nuruk in particular brought in the Lightning Fury build together with his team. That was actually a really interesting style back then, but it quickly became the standard. Right now we have Charge Strikes for DAB though. Back to the roots here. Alternative build for him. Not a bad build by any means, so please don't misunderstand that, but yeah, just different from what the standard has become, where Lightning Fury is the normal go-to for a lot of these players trying to get the poke damage in here also from the side. But of course, Charge Strikes alone also helps you on the objective quite nicely on Infernal Shrines. So the question is just simply, how is this going to play in the mid and in the late game? Because as we said before, the pressure on the shrine itself is definitely something that Nothing Left should be able to dominate. They have a great setup when they are going into team fights. They have that Sanctification, they have the Dragon Queen, they have Alexstrasza, so it should really be a game where they can do a lot around objectives. But now, Cam getting attacked here. Linked is low, and Linked is gonna die. Link gets a swiver to the face. The mob is just full force hitting him on the nose there, and that drops Alexstrasza. Mob to the face, and that is the end of your day. That's not only a really annoying feeling, but it's also just like, yeah, I mean, like all that dirty water, yeah, it's just not fun. Janet Leoric is just cleaning the house here, takes out the trash, and now we're having Blake Kidney at the bot lane, trying to hold at least for now. That camp, of course, got taken too. Is going to get depushed pretty soon here with a heavy commitment in the mid lane already, but definitely not quite the start that they were hoping for. 4 on both sides now. Which brings us straight back to the Wingman build, obviously. And up to the top lane, also Greymane, who is currently double-checking if someone is rotating in here. Poryboss is starting to take the camp, and we see the same also mirror towards the left side, where they're trying to do that. Down to the bottom of the map. Maenaldor is still in a bit of a stalemate here with Blake Kidney, but he's the one who starts moving into the lane first to try and push it out. A Ring of Leech on level 4, and there's the first shrine activating now. So well, shrine about to activate, and now the question, who takes that first Punisher? Linked is taking this. Yeah, he was still standing guard, and they didn't move in quickly enough. There was still enough around to help out here. Poryboss needs to actually be a little bit careful with this one, but is getting the shield from Tyrael and is fine for the time being. Camps at the top are going to hit each other. Another camp taken here in the middle, but now it's shrine time. Time for the shrine, baby. Poryboss already slightly low. Keep that Dragon Queen in the back of the head, because it is going to be a big part of the shrine fight here. Whenever Link pops that, he should be able to deliver quite a few of those stacks into the hands of his team. They're already in the lead with 11 against 12. But top lane gets pressured as Samuro is just doing his thing. Junkrat, on the other hand, mirrors that and moves in very quickly to push him out. Maenaldor himself is now in trouble and has to Wraith walk out of there. That's a swiffer moment for him. But top lane, the pressure continues as we're seeing Greymane and Kerosene moving in. Again, the pressure against structures. Link is there, DAB is on the move too, but they're about to lose this one. That fort is about to fall, and Blade is just saying, yeah, you might kill me, but I'm gonna take that fort. And you know what? That's a trade where I call worth. Blade calls worth, goes down, and now the question is how much can you do with the first Punisher of the game? That's pretty much it. Because at this point, Out of the Box has taken the lead. Hands down. They've taken the fort topside, and now the question is just simply how much can you do here? And normally the answer to that is very little, especially since we are seeing down to the bottom of the map Samuro just cancelling it a little bit and just doing his thing, and Meneldo is there too. So the entire setup of this team, and as we said before, you use the mobility of heroes like Leoric with Wraithwalk, or Vodkachan, or Falstad, you use Samuro, and you just simply rotate onto the map over and over again towards the structures, and you take them down as quickly as you can. You're trying to also put Greymane here in a position where he can attack the structures in Wong form, and he is delivering such a punch that he can easily just wreck, I mean, pretty much everything. And with just that one quick rotation, they got the fort in the early stages. And since the changes that Blizzard made to experience, the big difference now is that we are seeing the passive experience increase now for the blue team. And I mean, at this point, this is pretty much negligible. You don't really get a huge advantage out of it. But as the game continues and they still hold on to that advantage, it just means that the blue team is going to get farther and farther ahead in experience. And that is starting, or is going to be, a bit of a problem. So definitely something to consider here. And the question was always, how will Nothing Left react to it? Now they got the wall in the middle at least. For the first Punisher, that isn't really too bad. But as we said before, it's nothing that really holds up to what we saw on the other side. Kills on the other hand, that would be great. And already Meneldo and Greymane, Falstad are very low. But Link is the one that dies because Blade comes in, gets the cocktail. And that's the final blow. Alexstrasza is down. Junkrat had to rotate topside to deal with the wave. Because keep in mind, we're talking a lot about the experience here, we're talking a lot about taking the forts down, but one of the things that also results in is you have catapults pushing with every third wave on your end. So now the top lane pressure is over time going to increase against Nothing Left, and they will have to rotate heroes over continuously, especially on the side of Junkrat. So this is starting to become a bit dicey. And the game hasn't, I mean, the game has just barely started. Falstad flies in, mobility for the win. Guess who's not here? Junkrat, because he had to deal with the top side. So another camp is taken, and Nothing Left has to reevaluate how they are playing this game. Half a level away from level 10. Half a level where the opponent is running the advantage. And now you have the isolation combo. You have the Entomb into the Mighty Gust, and then a 7-sided strike, if you want to play it like that. Again, that's a heavy commitment to a single hero, and it makes more sense in the later stages of the game when dropping all of those cooldowns results in a big death timer being activated. But it is something that's there. And you don't necessarily have to rely on all three elements to really get your kill together. If you have a target that you can in some way lock down or at least put in a corner and then hit the 7-sided there, I mean, yeah, who's your daddy? That's like the kill at this point. Top lane. 3 seconds left. Guess who has Wingman? It is Butter. Zip. And that's a steal. Blake Kitten is there and is not going to be happy about that. Has now to deal with not only the top lane wave, but also with the camp that has been taken. And it is starting to become really annoying. The saving grace for Nothing Left, well, in a sense, is that of course these Punishers, they scale, right? So if you win those late game Punishers, they do a lot of work. But there's always the chance that TRQR is just simply rotating his Samuro onto another lane and they are starting to take structures again. So can you really get those fights? That's the big question. Junkrat already had to stay top lane for a bit longer to push that out, is now making his way in. And it seems like Out of the Box is trying to fight for this. But already Greymane and Samuro are sitting in the mid lane and are like, do we have to fight for this one? Do we rotate a little bit? And the answer is you rotate. 2 of them already on the way to the top, and that means someone else has to deal with this. Already the heavy lead, but Blake Kidney has to go back, and he has to go back really quickly because they are going to go for keep right there. And it is starting. I mean, look at just a little bit of time that they need to drop that wall. Junkrat is the only one there, and Junkrat is currently going up against 3 heroes. Okay, gets Greymane into a bit of an awkward spot. But again, the commitment is going to be there, and if they commit to the keep now, they will get the keep. Okay, Malthael coming back, and that's exactly what I wanted to see. They're already starting to be a little bit low. Here comes the Riptire, but the immediate Mighty Gust, and the keep is still taking damage. Yes, the Punisher has been taken, but what is that going to do for you? They're losing Malthael. 7-sided Strike was right there. Ult activated on Alexstrasza. Even that couldn't help them anymore. And the keep is nearly gone. Down at the bottom of the map, Leoric dies, but the keep is down. The keep is down. Yes, they might get a kill or two, but even that is questionable, and the keep is already eliminated. There is already an access path to the core at the top side. They're trying to get some hits in here. Yeah, that might be a kill against Vodka-chan, but no, not even that is working out. DAB is sitting there, doesn't even know who to attack next. I mean, he's in the middle of 4 heroes. Down to the bottom of the map, at least a Fortas fall. I mean, that's something, but now you are down a talent at this point, 13. We're also seeing the Unfettered Assault at level 13, so having a little bit more lunge distance. It's the mobility that counts. 7-sided is at least dropping... the Last Rites is at least dropping Falstad, so that's not only 1 stack acquired, but at the same time also removes Falstad for a little bit. But up at the top, we're still seeing Samuro with his things, and, well, pressure in the middle. What does Nothing Left have to do? Nothing Left have to take structures, and that's what they're trying to do right now. They escorted in a wave, a minion wave, into the middle to soak up those support shots, and they're trying to get some structures themselves. Losing the top keep is and was a problem. There is no question about that. Shouldn't have happened. Should have rotated quicker towards the top with 1 or 2 more heroes to avoid that. But they at least took the fort at the bot lane, and they're about to take the one in the middle. If they can start taking forts here, they at least have a chance for this. But the top lane is going to be a continuous problem. A Blade is already there again. Blade is there again. Fort falls, and here comes Samuro. And who's on the way too? Exactly, Kharazim. Kharazim is moving in as well. And of course, there is going to be a response this time. You can't lose that core damage. But Junkrat is just not enough. They need to realize that simply rotating Junkrat in is in the long run not going to help here. Because there can be a commitment. If Junkrat, for example, starts moving out here a bit, he's dead. But now to the bottom of the map, camp is taken. Again, 2 forts down. That's at least something. I mean, now we have a couple of catapults spawning. A bit of a bait here. Kya moves in. Blue Kidney is the only one. They're playing this safe. They're playing this slow. Down here, Menel'Dor is ready, but the rest of the team is starting to jump onto the core. Pody Boss is in, but they're again a bit late. They don't respect this enough. Yes, Leoric is down, but killing Leoric doesn't do anything for you here. The core is down to 60%, and Blade is just moving in. He has Greymane, and they're just dropping this, and Nothing Left. They don't respect this at all, and they get punished for it, and rightfully so. Out of the box, wins the game, and forces game number 3. The series is tied 1-1. Nothing Left not respecting the push power of Kharazim, Samuro, and Greymane. And well, they got punished for it. They got wrecked. Out of the box, made the same move 3 times. They attacked the fort, they attacked the keep, and then they dropped the core. And Nothing Left just didn't respect it at all. They said, yeah, we're fine defending with only Junkrat or then moving Malthael back. And as it turns out, that's just not the case. Yes, they get a kill against Leoric every single time, but that doesn't help them at all in the long run here. So they have to fight on a 3rd map right now. That's exactly what we talked about earlier. If an upset happens, then Nothing Left is not going to make it into Division S, and that is a big, big problem here right now. The ban against Abathur this time. And out of the box really signaled very early what they're trying to do here. I mean, if you watched any games from out of the box, even just the first series that they played today, where Nothing Left didn't even have a game themselves where they could simply watch, then you would know what's coming there. So out of the box, basically, they wrote a letter, they walked to the post office, they sent the letter got delayed, but it was delivered, and even through that entire path, Nothing Left didn't get the message. It's unfortunate. It's like out of the box, they send a letter, they send an email, they send a WhatsApp message, they send a text message, they send smoke signals, and nothing left. Was just like, we don't know what's going on here. So this time Samuro gets banned out. They're at least done with that. It is a map where Samuro, of course, can once again be good. And we have also Abatha banned out. So not really targeting these tanks that they previously banned out, but this time more so reacting to what out of the box has been pulling off in the previous series here. We see Tyrande, we see Johanna on Nothing Left side, as we have Menaldor with a Leoric first pick once again. So, yep. Leoric, the Swiver Master himself, the Janitor. I mean, there is still the joke around that the reason why we now got the Janitor Leoric skin finally is because Blizzard needed the Janitor closet for the remaining of the Heroes of the Storm development team. Rumors, of course. Don't know if it's true or not. Just passing it on. No judgment on my end. But I thought I would let you know. And Greyman and Falstad. Where have I seen this before? Where have I seen this before? So, I mean, Abatha and Zamura are both banned out, and he has the ban on Hammer. But I'm actually curious what's gonna happen now. Do you still play Rhaegar? Do you play Kharazim? I personally think it's gonna be Rhaegar or Kharazim for Vodka Chan. I don't think that's really a question. But what does Blade play? That's my question right now. What does Blade actually play in the setup now? Are we gonna see... I'm wrecking my head right now, and I'm literally like trying to think, okay, what could it be? And I'm ranging it from Murky to Nazebo pretty much, so I honestly don't know what to expect from this here. But it is going to be fun one way or another. I think we can pretty much be sure of that. Li Ming and Yrel get both picked here, so a great offlaner here in with Yrel. Li Ming, who can capitalize on Tyrande whenever she gets the stun in, just a great setup. And DAB on Li Ming is also pretty terrifying, so that's pretty awesome. But what is Blade gonna play now? We have the global, we have Greymane. I mean, they can still shift heroes around. So, oh, it's Probius, push power once again. So much wave flare, so much push power here, and this time, I mean, nothing left. They need an answer for this time. They have blinds. Johanna has a couple of blinds. They have Yrel. You can create a little bit space, dominates that a bit more. So I like that approach to it too. And even Zeratul now coming in, who with a Void Prison can always buy you a little bit more time. Drop that simply on the core 2 if there is a core rush again. Guys, we're heading into the last game of this series. Who's going to make it into the quarterfinals of the 4th and final qualifier for Division S? Out of the box or nothing left? Let's find out. Game number 3, the final map in this best of 3 series, and only one of the two teams can still hold on to their chance to qualify for Division S. On the left side, it is Blade on Greymane, Menaldor on Leoric, TRQR on Probius this time. We're seeing Butter on Falstad and Vodka Chan on Kharazim. And on the right side of the map, Podibos on Yrel for nothing left. We have Linked on Tyrande, Blikitne on Zeratul, DAB on Li Ming, and Sedoon on Johanna. And the Probius pick might actually seem odd to a few people, and it definitely is not your traditional pick. But we have seen at the Nations Cup, the UK arena, he's been playing a lot of Probius, and it was actually a very, very nice performance by him, where he was able to control the map very nicely with Probius, get that wave clear in, and play a very safe style. Now, one of the big problems that you have with Probius is survivability. You don't really have a huge hit point pool, and it's very tough for you to survive if your opponent ever gets onto you. And the problem is that we have Zeratul on the other side. Blikitne is the one hero that Probius in particular has to be very careful of. But the one thing that Probius really delivers at is being able to control space and also to burst waves down. So Probius can actually be very annoying in the right hands and on the right map. And you have to remember that this is not the traditional style where you have Probius as an offlaner, for example. I mean, first of all, in a traditional style, you don't see Probius. Just flat out. But if you have Probius, then most of the time it's more so an attempt of running him as an offlaner. You sometimes saw that on Practice Khaldor, for example. But the style that they're playing without a real tank and only relying on Leoric here is a very different one. Yeah. So much for that. Falstad flying in, trying to get a little bit closer to Blakitny, and unfortunately for him, that little barrel roll brought him over the wall, and all of a sudden that's a dead bird right there. Not the start that you want to have when you're out of the box. But Blakitny, even dropping the quick B-step, gets away from that little gank here too. Nice start for nothing left. A lot of resources committed to taking Zeratul down, and so far that hasn't worked out at all. But yeah, the bird unfortunately a bit overzealous here. Yeah, a little bit too aggressive. Just a tiny little bit. This one here is also going to be taken. Falstad and Probius were both busy at the bottom, so that's already a pretty big advantage in terms of at least having that healing beacon. Yeah, down to the bottom of the map. We're still seeing Probius get... Ooh! That is an interesting move. Dropping the turret to get the tower. They do not care about that objective, the first one at least, at all, it seems. They're just... Oh, nice! That was a great move by Linked. Fantastic hit against Probius, and now they're trying to get the kill here. Tiakua is able to move away. But them dropping the turret like this just shows that they're actually not really caring about the objective. In this case, they don't care about the objective fight. Instead, they are trying to get damage against the structure of their opponent as soon as possible. And you have to keep in mind that on Infernal Shrines, their whole spiel was to attempt to get structures destroyed by using Greymane, and they're already dividing the attention of nothing left with Greymane, Kharazim topside, and having Probius oftentimes at the bottom of the map. So there's definitely an idea behind this. I'm just not quite sure if it really works this time, because nothing left is not going to underestimate this split push structure rush style anymore. I mean, Menaldor already gets wrecked within seconds, and this time that works out beautifully well, because up to the top, as you can see, Blade hasn't even reached the wall yet. If that trade on Leoric comes at the cost of you sacrificing damage on the wall, or maybe like even over here, then you sacrifice Leoric any day. I mean, then you're in a happy place, because if there's any hero on this lineup that you really are okay to sacrifice, it's Leo. He comes back so quickly. So if you can sacrifice Leo for a little bit more time on a lane where heroes can push, then you're gonna make that trade easily. But that's not what's happening here. Probius, by the way, is still holding back his talent. So after we saw the initial pick with the Warp Resonance, we have still not seen anything taken on level 4 and level 7 yet. So TRQR is holding that back for a suspicious long amount of time. Khaldor Resistance taken on level 7 for Tyrande. Up at the top lane again, Greymane Kharazim. We've seen this before, and this time Blakitny is trying to push it back as much as he can, but he needs to be careful, and one turret is already down. We're still seeing the fight over the control point itself. Menaldor is basically just trying to delay it for as long as he can. He's not really trying to grab it. He's just trying to delay it for as long as he possibly can to give the remaining heroes time on the other side of the map to get value. And if he dies in the process, that's fine for them as well. But now Potibos comes in too. Good stun again, jumping on that. And Menaldor is able to move out. But that leaves Probius with a little bit more wiggle room around at the bottom of the map. He's going to try and take this one down here, up to the top side. As you would imagine, the wall has now fallen by Vodka, Chan and Blade. 46% against 27. And Leo is soon going to make another play for that control point, trying to delay some time. It's a tricky game. It's really an annoying style of play against. Nothing left. They have to be very careful how they rotate, and that they don't stay away from these lanes for too long, or they will lose structures, and that's all that out of the box is trying to do. But this time the reactions are a little bit smoother, a little bit faster from nothing left. They're playing this a bit better. Down to the bottom of the map. Well, still a bit of a play for the turret. Here comes, of course, the first Protector. I mean, as we said, they didn't really make a serious attempt for the Protector, out of the box that is. With them sacrificing the early turret, you could already tell. Here come the talents, finally, for Probius, as we have the 4 and 7 drop. Talking about dropping, Menaldor drops again, getting that sweet Leoric trade value. The shield capacitator taken now. Gets the additional shield, as we said before. Against Zeratul, you might be in trouble here. Rift Shock now taken. On top of that too. Ooh, the pro. Ooh, yeah! That was a lot of damage. It nearly cost the probe its life. And the Protector takes down the fort. Li Ming goes down on the other hand. Well, at least some value at the top. We're also seeing Blakitny still trying to hold on for this for as long as he can. Falstad flies in. They want to try and force a bit of a fight there, apparently. There's the Entomb against 2, but Butter on Falstad nearly dies, barely survives the Void Prison against 3. They're trying to go for Greymane, and Urel is already jumping in. Jumps in. They try and get the kills. Blade is about to fall. He gets dropped, and there goes Blakitny with a double kill. They try to get more. Vodka Chan is the next one to be focused on, but Blakitny is making the plays. Yeah, and that's a dead probe if I've ever seen one as well. Gets the B-step in too. Blakitny is still alive, and they're not stopping there. They're trying to go for Karazim. Another stun attempt by Link, this time not hitting, but damn! 6 kills against 1. Nothing left, apparently pissed about the outcome of the last game, and they are coming in swinging here. Getting the Protector, getting the mid fort, and now they are in a position where they are already wreaking havoc in the backline of their opponent whenever a fight actually breaks out. Great play and great game so far by them. This time, not falling for the shenanigans that we're seeing from out of the box here. Nothing left, playing this a bit closer to home now. And fantastic performance here from Blakitny too. I mean, the Void Prison alone, not only saving him, but setting up such a great attack here with a VP against 3, isolating a 4th, then going in and dropping 3 heroes in the process, and not even dying, hitting that quick B-step here too. Blakitny just absolutely dominant on that Zeratul at this point. Great play. Zadunia once again, 13 against 12 now. 1 talent advantage. Top lane pressure in the meantime with 3 heroes trying to defend first of all against the camp, but then escort your own through. Bottom of the map, we're having still Potiboss on the off lane. So far so good for him. And well, with that said, we have the attack once again against Meldor here. This time he doesn't get stunned out. So far that worked. Blakitny moving in. They're trying to go for the camp here. They're trying to go for Butter, and there is the Mighty Gust as the result. Baited out. Had to use it. No other way to deal with this. And now we're having also, of course, the item itself taken away. But it comes again at a cost. And this is the style. This is it right here. Buy time. Occupy your opponent somewhere else on the map, play around them, and try and get the damage in. That's exactly what they've been doing over and over and over again. But the fort has not fallen. The fort is still there. And another control point is now unlocking. And as we said before, those control points are super important, as we have actually Leo falling at the top. For some reason I didn't even see that on the screen. I jumped down to the middle because I thought he was there. So my bad for kind of missing that. So a little bit of a brain fart on my end. But bot lane, there's again the pressure play. Control point spawns topside, you have multiple heroes pushing in for that, and you rotate in down to the bottom of the map. But this time, here comes the rotation from Potiboss and Blakitny. They're going in for that, they're defending it, and they keep the rest just simply at the top, where Johanna is already getting the points for the team. Now with 13 against 15, still 6 kills ahead. Leo up at the top is also getting attacked right there. Meneldor still trying. Meneldor is basically just bait. The entire time he's pretty much just bait. He's trying to bait as much as he can, and he's the one who just says, hey, kill me, I'm right here. He's playing Murky pretty much. He's just saying, kill me, invest resources to kill me, I dare you. 1 kill, 4 kill, Tirana goes down as we have Probius being eliminated. Turret's also committed to this little fight here. And still Johanna sitting topside. Zeratul is dead, and with him we're also seeing the deaths of Leoric, of Falstad, of Greymane. Down here the push continues as Potiboss moves in. Up at the top, Zadun is just sitting there and saying like, guys, you do your thing, you play Heroes of the Storm, I'm gonna sit on that Protector, and then we're gonna go in and do a little bit of damage here. So now with 16 in their hands, 11 kills against 3, they're starting to go straight for another fort. They already put some additional pressure down to the bottom, but now Meneldor respawns here too. Li Ming is starting to enter the Protector, and nothing left is reacting just way, way better than in the previous game to all these shenanigans from out of the box. Meneldor at this point with 4 deaths, getting that trade value, playing Leorki. Top lane, I mean, that fort is gone. There's like nothing you can do to save that. Can, of course, try and prep the bot lane even a little bit if you wanted to. Damage output, Zeratul himself, 25,000. I mean, let's face it, Kidney is currently the biggest threat on the side of nothing left against out of the box. That guy has been absolutely demolishing team fights. That was really, really insane. Yeah, and the wall is gonna fall. I mean, right now, what are you gonna get with this? You're gonna get the 2 towers, you're gonna get the gate. If you really focus all of that down, you're not really gonna be able to make a play for the keep itself, but that opens up for a big push later on, and that's all that you're trying to do right now. Alright, there's the Gust, trying to force a bit of a fight. Not quite sure if you really want to fight that fight, though. TRQR is low, and there's the setup for the kill. Big Kidney moves in, and was there a probe? I don't even know. Well, I can tell you there was a Grey main, but he's dead. What Gachan? Barely jumping out with Garazim. But yeah, now the pressure is there. The full control of this game in the hands of nothing left. They are not joking around here. They're not taking any prisoners now. They are moving in. They are taking everything you have. Your lunch money, your girlfriend, your car. They take everything. And you give them one opportunity and they mercilessly will just push in and take you down. And this is exactly what we expected already previously from them. But now in game number 3, they are delivering as they realize that this is their last chance to qualify for Division S. So they have to perform here. And game number 2 was not quite what we expect from them, and they're delivering. 13 kills against 3. Keep already down. They're going straight up to prepare for the next objective. Grabbing another healing beacon here. And they are looking fantastic. Bot lane pressure through Podibos during all of this. They are the ones splitting now. They're not falling for that split push crap anymore. They're just sitting there and saying like, yeah, we are reacting properly to all of this right now. We're not going to give you any chance. And look at this again. They get the damage in. They're saying like, you want to fight? Yeah, we are ready to fight if you want. You want it? Let's bring it. Blade is on the run. Items galore in their hands. And they're chasing Blade. They're saying like, there's a keep. Do we care? No. There's the Void Prison. I mean, they're running in the base. They're running in the base and get the double kill. They're just saying, we don't care anymore. We are dropping you right here, right now. You think you are safe at your keep? Are you kidding? We don't care about keeps, we care about kills, and we are going to kill you right now, and nobody is going to stop us. Someone call the police because there's a murder happening right here. Bam! The core is about to go down, and this is nothing left, dropping out of the box, out of the tournament. Probius goes down, 16 kills against 3. We have level 20, and this is the 2-1 victory. 4-0 left in this best of 3 series, and what a victory on the final map it was. GG and well played.